three, and that'll drop. Williams at 32% this year.
How about for Caleb Williams? He hasn't played the last 2 games. The last 3 he actually has been in. Only 1 point. That's the opportunity aspect we were talking about. Caleb Williams taking advantage early and knocking one down from 3.
With concussion late in the regular season, getting a chance here as Watts slithers inside.
Tournament, 2 games there, 16 points a game. He wants to get downhill and make plays at the line. Match up. Curtis Williams just flowing in transition. Nobody finding him, and it's a guy that made 6 of his last 12 ball movement by Washington State on those 2 possessions, but Georgetown coming away with an easy basket.
58-54. Watts, the running hook is McKenna with 10 to shoot. Step back 3. You saw that from the very beginning.
He is not bashful, that's for sure.
Penetrates all the way to the rim for 2.
They're loading up on Mack, and Mack wisely swings the ball. What a drive by Williams.
Oh, what an answer by LeJuan Watts.
That's his first bucket. Starting 5 for Washington State, almost a brand new team this year for the Cougars, and they went 8-10 in league play after a good start. Really didn't finish the season well at all. You would not have known it with the way that they played. Scores off the glass.
Just so strong, right? I mean, he knows he misses it. He knows where he misses it. He tracks it down and just finishes.
Leading scorer in the conference this year. LeJuan Watts going downhill. Bucket on this.
And this is a San Francisco Dons team that can shoot the ball from the outside.
They're not shy. Long had a good look and missed the 3.
They average over 8 made threes per contest.
LeJuan Watts right to the basket. He'll go up and dunk it home. Impressive play by Riley. Here's Watts on the other end, and he scores.
Didn't ride the bike for 7 miles in the first half, didn't help.
Benabosi had it stripped away. LeJuan Watts just came back in the game, and that leads to the dunk. Point at the top with no Marcus Williams. No matter what, he has to be aggressive, and he has been. But 5 turnovers, 5 of 14 shooting, and some of those errors on the defensive end. LeJuan Watts foot right on the 3-point line, so that's a 2. He's not shy very long. Sophomore from the NBA Global Academy, grew up in China. He's starting to come into his own. Calmes. Time winding down on the Cougars. LeJuan Watts by you. LeJuan Watts, reverse. Nice move by him. Comes to the bench, and he'll get ready to come back in the game, I'm sure. LeJuan Watts on the attack. Watts kind of tripped and still found a way to...
A couple times now. He's 50th and 51st threes of the season. Eric Strip, also a 6'11" big for Washington State, has yet to attempt one tonight. He's made over 60 on the year.
Calmes, good dish. LeJuan Watts finishes.
Can provide that spark for LMU off the bench. Was one of the top scorers in the Mountain West at San Jose State a year ago.
LeJuan Watts answers on this.
Making a run to close this half. He's a player who doesn't necessarily have a lot of plays for him, but he's opportunistic.
Wow.
It's your turn.
Hey, I thought he was there at the rim and he didn't shoot it. Johnston, he's just totally out of sorts. He was so decisive last night. Calmes back to LeJuan Watts. 3 is good.
With the loss, they'll try to secure a win. Pepperdine just one of their last 8 shots and only down by 3, so they've cooled off. All right, Cougars have possession, moving right to left. They post up Isaiah Watson, throws it up and in. 11:22 to play, 63-53. Koulibaly down low, pivots underneath. Ball knocked away, stolen by the Cougars. Rasterson to Calmes. The lob to LeJuan Watts with a dunk.
Second chance points now for Pepperdine.
69-60, Waves back by only 9. 7.5 to play. Turning, LeJuan Watts hits the jumper. And starting quite a bit, averaging about 7 points a game. All right, the lob pass goes into LeJuan Watts, who puts it up and in easily.
Late, but they kind of need to recapture their success, get back to basics, and see if they can get a win against the Toreros.
And a nice muscle move inside by LeJuan. He has talked about it. He's trying not, compliments to David Riley, he's trying not to use it as an excuse, as you see how well the Cougars have shot 2-pointers this year. That's 11th best in the country, by the way. And it's obviously connected to the three-point threat they pose. Teaches a class at the University of San Diego, Communications and Media Studies. I spoke to the class last year, and a couple of Torero players were in it. Stephen Jamerson is in it this year, despite the fact that Cutler.
Now that is what Cluett has been doing in recent games.
Yeah,
he's definitely a three-point threat, and gives the Toreros another dimension. If you know he can start making those. There again, though, all the way to the rim.
The finish.
Had a pretty good look.
And back comes USD. No, and a good hustle back. Now there's a great lesson, Dan. Ethan Price hustling back to get that rebound. And then LeJuan Watts makes.
That one, Calmes completely gave the baseline, almost like he was anticipating a ball screen with the big from the help. Nobody was there, and that led to the reverse layup.
Price looking for Watts inside, but it's got the active tongue on the defensive end. And LeJuan Watts been relatively quiet today. And gets that one to go over.
Lead them and made threes. It's a real inverted offense.
Nemar got to the rim, missed the shot. And here come the Cougars. LeJuan Watts went right by Greg.
I think they're going to try and get out and push. We've talked about it already. Scoring 80 points in a game is a recipe for success for them. To do that, they're going to have to be effective in transition.
This is Calmes, 8. Coach and I had him at Oregon State, Washington State, and he was explosive. That's Ethan Price, number 3, into Eric Strip. Back to Price. LeJuan Watts with 2 on the shot clock. Has to fire it up. He does, and it's good on the shot clock. Good. And the 3 for the big Lithuanian. Every player on Washington State can shoot a 3. The bigs can, Price and Eric Strip, and certainly the small. Watts slices in for 2.
Defensive end.
Luke Barrett's runner gives them a 6-point lead.
They don't gamble. They stay in front of you in the basket. They're physical in the post.
Watts slicing and a nice 8-point lead for the Gales. Watts driving in and laying it in, and 3 fouls on Luke Barrett. Washington State trying to stop a 10-0 run. They finally do. Flirting with a career high is finally the one. St. Mary's only 1 blemish in conference. They lost at San Francisco. That came on February 5th in a 1-point loss. Watts off the glass. Head coach in conference history, passing Bobby Knight. Coach, you've seen Auburn play. They're number 1. You think rightfully number 1?
Well, when you go into the
been strong first 8.5 minutes. He has 8 points and 3 assists for Pepperdine. And good set inbounds play there to LeJuan.
Nice drop off. Good timing.
And there's Watts. Just why you see him heading out. Replaced by Buffet for Pepperdine.
Well, Pepperdine switching everything right now, which is causing Washington State some problems. They look much more effective.
Boy, and Watts let him out, hung him out to dry. And meanwhile, Odom comes back. Wow. Last minute of the game, how you get this many clean looks? Look at Watts going with 2. And the Cougars are within 3. LeJuan Watts ducks in and scores with 11 to go.
That's a shame.
defensively, Calmes has been so good. You know, getting downhill. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington State just does the same thing. Give a ball screen. Give
Price picked up by Lingard. On a pocket pass, LeJuan Watts powers it down.
Got to get in your rhythm and lean on your identity, what you are and who you are as a team.
but that does have depth. They've usually figured it out, obviously.
Watts finds a crease and finishes.
Your star player, and have him miss the next couple of games when he could have just sat one game and been healthy afterwards.
Washington State breaks the full court pressure and Watts finishes. Beasley catch and shoot.
Well, both teams not afraid in transition, try to get some shots before the defense sets up. Love the strategy.
LeJuan Watts buried.
Was able to do to Washington State and Washington State's bigs a couple weeks ago. They were able to turn them over. They were able to force them on the perimeter, create some turnovers with their big guys. But you'd imagine Washington State is going to adjust tonight, as that is LeJuan Watts huddled up far away from us. I wanted to pick their brain about that flagrant foul, and we'll do so when we can, as LeJuan Watts takes it to the hole and up with the left.
Play as well as he does at St. Mary's. Turnover. Watts. And he finishes.
State, it allows a big post-up opportunity in the middle lane for Eric Strip.
Stripped to the ball is Barrett. Price is a big who can shoot the three. Watts can do everything. And he just did. That's a tough finish. And it's a bucket, a 1-point game, 13 seconds left. First half. Watts. Barrett bodying him. The double comes. Watts got him up and in. Saxon with the tip. He'll get an offensive rebound and a bucket. Much needed for the Gales.
Well, you put a hand on him, but you don't physically move him.
Oh, Watts!
Focused on that, but he wants his team to drive more.
Yes, I mean, they're rim twos, strong rim twos, and they're threes. That's it. And because they shoot the ball really well from the outside of the perimeter, they're going to have to give up something, and that's what Herb Sendek is alluding to.
Watts, hesitant three. Rainbow! And that Garrett's off the bench. Feed to Eric Strupp. Off rebound. Price with no angle. Blind flick to Watts. Rattled down and one. Down on the left wing. Trail three. Off for Price. Rebound to Wazoo. Eric Strupp bounce pass. Oh, as soon as Watts had that position. Monty on the glass was pretty impactful in that first half.
It was. I want to see Washington State can get Camise involved into the offense. And he passed right there to Watts.
Rattles it down.
Just the way they drew it up, John.
I mean, that was basketball chaos. Watts good fake. High kiss make. And they maintain. Napper. Price has it for the Cougars.
One thing that Santa Clara is also doing well is when they get an offensive rebound, they're kicking out for easy threes, and it's just you don't really see that a lot from teams. Usually, when you get offensive rebounds, Watts hits a three.
Forward to Tilly. Goes strong, and Watts has it chin and spin.
Still gets the rebound on a hurt ankle.
He is grinding. You can see. You're right. He is visibly a lot slower. Spinning, sinking, fighting through the paint.
Offensive team, and a team that scores a ton of points.
They did say it was enough of a hold by Chris Austin to put the clock at 20, so it goes into LeJuan Watts. He would have been ball under 8 to go here in the first half. Cougars were down 25-16 just a few minutes back, and they've gotten back within a pair.
Dane Erickstrup has been the hot man for Washington State so far. 11 points already. LeJuan Watts, nice move. Strong staying in, but the last 6 minutes they're letting this slip a little bit away from them. They're down 8 and they're hurting themselves by not boxing out better, and now some careless turnovers.
Portland's committed 6, Washington State with 5. Cougars on this 7-point scoring run. Tomas Thrasherson just got that across to Nate Camise.
Careless pass.
LeJuan Watts showing his strength.
McKinnon was like a football quarterback. He looked the defense one way. He made the pass the other way.
Every moment so critical for Portland here on the road. LeJuan Watts.
He has a great shirt on. You can't throw him the ball.
Yeah, rewind that 20 years. You want to get it in Shantae's hands.
Parker Garrett was a redshirt freshman last year, didn't play. Isaiah Watts, the only returning player who actually played. Contact occurred outside. There's no question he was in the act of trying to shoot it. But again, well, I tell you, second half, free throw shooting disappointing by the Pilots.
Yeah, they missed 4 in the second half, and those are 4 big points right now. LeJuan Watts continuing.
There he is driving up top. An early 5 points. Price tracks it down. Eric Strip. Price, great pass inside, and Watts lays it in.
Came out shooting the lights out, 4 for 5 from the three-point line, and then missed their next 8 three-point attempts. Something that's not going to be there forever for Washington State. They're going to quickly get back on that. That's a good way to start.
Battle picks up Gonzaga's first foul. Calmise, the inbound to LeJuan Watts. 2 turnovers now for the Zags. Ben Gregg, the runner. LeJuan Watts, the rebound, back come the Cougars. Pretty obvious that Coach Riley got his team's attention after that game against Pacific, a classic trap game, I think. Cougars probably had their eyes on this one and overlooked the Tigers. Watts, the leaner inside. Thrasterson showing a little ball handling skill. Eric Strip's 3, won't go. Loose ball. Here's Watts with it off the pass, and he'll dump it through.
That's going to be chalked up as an assist for Ajayi, but that is a great play. Held it long enough.
And LeJuan Watts.
And battle have been when they've been on the ball or trying to defend either Price or Dana on the low block.
Gonzaga's hit 16 of their last 21 field goals. LeJuan Watts against Huff. 6-6. Great find, EK. Graham, another big night with 17. 7 of 10 from the floor. Watts. Got all the way to the rim. He's got 9 points.
Just gets so low to the ground. He just turns the corner. He's really difficult to keep in front.
Watts down the lane.
College stops for him. He's a good one. Squaring up. Watts decides to pull the trigger and scores. The hot start continues.
3 from distance, 17 points in 9 minutes of play.
Nice follow-up there by Watts. Everything could... Whew. No one is going to stop him at a full head of speed.
No, about 4 different people have tried.
That live ball turnover will kill you when it's in his hands.
Big bucket.
Big bucket by Watts. 3:16 left to go. Another 3-point play for Thomas. That's the old-fashioned way.
And we talked in the open how important it was for Calmise to stay out of foul trouble, and he was not able to do it in the first half.
Price hesitates. Watts, what a great fake. And finish.
This is the ball game. Range, and he can go inside as well.
Watts lays it in. He's flying, and Thomas hits the triple. Riley cannot believe it. 34 now for the wonderful Malik Thomas. One off his career high, and inside is Watts.
Out for 3 to 4 weeks. And he's one of those guys you can start him, but oftentimes is Watts. The other Watts, no real. And McBride. And the Lions now taking the lead. 37-36.
1-3-1 with an opportunity to trap the wings.
LeJuan Watts the drive. Boy, when he turns a corner.
But you're finding the guys having a hard time getting up and down the floor when that pace gets up and down 2 or 3.
Florida. Todd Golden.
Another great play by Calamese. This should be an alley-oop dunk.
And there's Watts, the catch and finish off the glass.
Masic trying to go all the way to the cup, cut off by Why Not. Pass into the paint, taken away by Price.
The Cougs getting disruptions on passes, those little tiny dump passes inside, not getting through. Portland turning it over for the 4th time.
Watts lets loose. 6
times you can, just drop the level of competition a little bit. Probably got on him a little bit as far as effort is concerned, and then ball movement against this zone. Get some looks, make them shift, get a high percentage shot.
So far, they've kept it on the outside. Now they get it inside Eric Strip. Watts will finish underneath. Was trying to prove himself during the offseason. Get a few games in. You're looking for some type of change inside the paint, and Jermaine has delivered for Portland. Watts left all alone.
Just have got to be more efficient on the offensive end.
Price, the no-look pass to Why Not. Watts, let's go for 3.
State before the Isaiah Watts injury. It's a big loss for this game. Their only returning letter winner from a year ago. And the shot from the corner goes down for nothing. Hudson backing down, lost the handle. Price, Watts, and the finish. Into LeJuan Watts, makes his move baseline, reverses it up and in. Washington in their loss on Wednesday, but they have performed well here. That's poked away from behind. Price pokes it away from Hudson, gets the turnover, and Watts with the finish on the other end. It's at 8. Campbell pull-up jumper. Rims off. Watts has the rebound. Watts has been active. 6'6", 233 sophomore. He averages 7.5 boards per game, 6th in the West Coast Conference in that category. Eric Strupp always looking to shoot out there. Goes inside, good pass. Watts the finish. And regardless, a dominant first half at Orleans Arena. Watts against Bond. Clock is at 5. Spins, leads in, and banks it home. Tough shot. And Watts gets it to go. He has a crafty move in the paint. No, off the window. Calmes. Watts, pass Hornseth, and lays it in. What a strong move.
Job of being under control, taking what the defense gave him. They're so concerned about great Alcibor down on the block that they're going to leave guys open on the perimeter, and they got to knock down those shots.
Entry pass, they feed. Watts tries to handle it, does, and is able to put it through. The free throw can't convert the three-point play. There's Price for 3. And has been ice cold from behind the arc tonight for the Cougars. They're 2 for 13.
And that was a great look for him. That shoot around, Danny Sprinkle talked about running those guys. Michigan State's got a nice squad. We all know Tom Izzo, one of the best coaches in college basketball. But it's tough to play on the road in any league. And talk about the Big Ten going on the road. Boy, that's going to really be tough.
A little different travel plans this year for the Huskies.
Yeah. A lot of frequent fire miles. I don't know if they charter, if they're going to great Alcibor to get a chance to go one-on-one down there on the block. That dude knows how to score.
Shot fake, step back three, short.
Pretty good challenges by impressive Washington State's defense.
LeJuan Watts to the rim, and he lays it in.
The recruiting rules, and Roley would call him and say, Louie, you can't do that. It's a violation. And he says, I'm sorry, Roley. You know I don't know the rules. But he also knew the district attorneys. So
Boise State is without a bucket in the last 2.5 minutes. Isaiah Watts has 7 points to lead all scores.
Mismatch again. They find it. They find it.
LeJuan Watts' runner is good.
They had 7 on the other team. Look for Calme's coming back for a handoff here. He likes to come back and get the ball back. And they usually, well, here he goes. But if they see a good matchup, they won't use it. Yeah, they were looking for him to be pinned down.
LeJuan Watts shot fake. Goes up off the glass, no foul called. He got it to go.
Mismatch in the post.
Again. Watts down low, catches it with one hand, comes back off the glass. It's good.
Boy,
That's the play.
Look at Calme's and they're ready to dig.
Stanley over the top of the defense, no good.
The bigs are there prevailing, though, helping one another.
And here's Watts again, speeds right to the basket. I think Bowie is on Calme's.
Only the 6. You only got 6 seconds to get it over here. Nice trap, turn it.
Isaiah Watts.
Heady play. Croxter, Powell. Any chance you could double team, I'd double team right here. Anything on the box. Ball screen on the box. Don't leave him alone down there. This box is too good.
Yeah, over the top of Meadow. He is too strong.
They know where.
Firm for people. Both coaches don't want to see their teams come out and shoot 3-pointers right off the bat. Get to the basket, get a little rhythm. There's a good move inside from Watts.
Gets the paint touch from McBride. Space from Rollison, and his jump shot is off the mark. Into the final minute of play here in the first half. Washington State shooting 31% from the floor. Nevada only 26.5%. Watts for 3, and Watts hits a big triple.
They get an easy look with 2 seconds left. And there it is.
A frustrating Calme's for 3. Another second chance opportunity. And the Cougars take advantage. Six to shoot. And it's just another mishandled rebound. And that
Tonight is a hockey arena, home of the Coachella Valley Firebirds, minor league affiliate of the NHL Seattle Kraken. But this week home to 19 college basketball games on the men's and women's side. Juju Watkins in the building earlier. USC women taking care of Seton Hall before this game. LeJuan Watts turns and hits.
Harris who shot that one.
Fourteenth tray of this first month for Chuck Harris in his final go-around in college basketball. LeJuan Watts with the right hand.
You know, as far as attempts and +6 on makes.
Washington State basketball out of the timeout, trailing by 5. Calme's kicks. Why not? Touch pass. Eric Strupp. One more. Isaiah Watts shot clock into single digits. Cross picks up Calme's. LeJuan Watts on a corner pop. Drills the 3. Half of the early season.
Yes, indeed.
Without a doubt. LeJuan Watts will put it in.
That play by Collins. 6'1" sophomore up in to drive it. Went right to the contact and got a chance.
In Washington, Aguilar hits on the southpaw flip. Washington State sprints up the floor and Watts lays it in. College basketball after dark. Final minute of the opening 20 in Greater Palm Springs, and Price finds Watts for. Fresno State has closed the gap to 1 again. LeJuan Watts inside for 2 more.
LeJuan Watts going to work down there on the block.
Struck the steal. Numbers for Washington State, and it's Why Not with the tip in from LeJuan Watts. On the bench with his 4 fouls. Watts fake the pass, takes it in for 2.
Also see Nick McLean and Visa Zonke in for Eastern Washington as well. It's LeJuan Watts with it. Kicks it out, Coward. Back to Watts. Not a volume three-point shooter, but he knocks that one.
Nick McLean, better on balance. He has such a quick burst, but it's about being on balance when you get in the paint. He does a good job there.
Near steal. Ball still loose. Cougs able to recover it. Cedric Coward. Lofts it inside. LeJuan Watts goes to the rim and scores.
Demon, great athlete, good rebounder.
We talk about his development over the last couple of years as LeJuan Watts tried to get it to Isaiah Watts. LeJuan Watts using his body down low. In the paint, high off the glass.
Boy, I love what he did right there. He took his body right into the shoulder of the defender. He caused the contact, and really smart move to the rim.
Erikstrup will try to answer. Nice feed to LeJuan Watts. He'll get the roll and one. Extra pass.
Too much.
Well, you know, they like to share the ball maybe a little too much as Ganker can't get the bounce.
That was actually a pretty good possession. I think Steve Smiley just said to his coaching staff, put it up, put it up.
Price maneuvering back out to Cal Meese. Haven't really called his name a whole lot tonight so far.
I think because of the balance, you know.
Totally.
So the balance, the ball's moving well.
And again, you got guys like Washington State. Watts down low again.
Like this guy. Nice move.
Getting the bounce.
Wow. Terrific move over that shot block that we talked about.
LeJuan Watts. Easy answer.
You know what I love about that?
Fans were out pregame tailgating over at the John Deere Plaza. They are so excited about these two guys to come home. This place is packed. Everybody's lathered up and ready to go. And number 2 plays so hard for the Hawkeyes.
Cal Meese from Gilbert, Arizona, feeding it up top to Ethan Price. Washington State, they beat Portland State, Bradley, and Idaho to start this season. The spin around to LeJuan Watts, 6 to shoot. Watts muscling inside against Peyton Sanford. The 6.
2 of the better defensive plays you'll see all year.
And Okafor running the floor, but he can't finish. Inside is Isaiah Watts to scoop it up. Goodness, what a flurry. Good post by LeJuan Watts against Brock Harding.
Top with the most three-pointers made is probably going to get the victory.
Drew Thelwell, the Morehead State transfer, on the floor for the first time tonight for the Hawks. Watts will enter it inside, and Isaiah Watts
gotten away from that. Both teams with uncharacteristic turnovers, but great job by Iowa of taking that defense and turning it into offense on transition.
Here's Cal Meese. Where will they find the answer on the Cougars side? 1 minute to go, first half. Watts will try the 3, and he'll hit. LeJuan Watts. 72-64. Hawks with their biggest lead, and what a time for it. LeJuan Watts driving to the rim, throws that one down. 6 points
for Washington State. Bradley believed by many to be a fringe NCAA tournament type team, so it was a huge home win. WSU trying to start 3-0. Idaho coming off a tight loss with UC Davis back on Thursday night last week.
And Idaho with a bigger starting lineup tonight.
LeJuan Watts midair out of the timeout. And then LeJuan Watts takes it in on Kyson Rose. His take 2 figures with 10 points.
And his first points of the second half, he had to come out with some foul trouble.
LeJuan Watts trying to post up Jack Payne on the block. Remember, he's got 3 fouls. Payne.
And again, the battle down low. Look at Payne and Watts going at it.
For Chris Gonzalez, who averages 13 a game in the first 2 for Idaho.
Just took advantage of a few bumps, right? You can get such an advantage with just one bump without fouling. And got to his hips.
Watts, after break.
Gets up and his teammate cleaning up the glass. Howard really working on his defense this season, as we mentioned. Wants to get to the next level at the NBA.
Watts hits.
he's the reason. He's got the last 8 Washington State points. Dean Erickson, LeJuan Watts. For the 3 for Idaho. The Vandals 5 for 22, now 5 for 23.
Rough night to be on the arc.
Into the post, LeJuan Watts. Oh, he put the spin cycle on.
Dean is some talent. 5'8", does an awful lot of things on the floor. And as we said, preseason player of the year in the Valley.
Now that right there, now point play for Hannah. And that, again, Bradley hopes just jumpstarts something that gives them a push back into the game.
First basket of the second half. They did have that bucket right before halftime at the 2-second mark of the first half. Thank you, Sam Poulos, for bailing us out.
Watts with a blow-by and one.
In the Big Sky Conference at Eastern Washington with these players. David Riley, 2-time Coach of the Year, back-to-back regular season champions in the Big Sky Conference.
Nice play by Calmes to set up inside. The end one finish by LeJuan.
To Miller, flips it in.
Limit the track portion of it if you can make some shots and you don't turn it over.
LeJuan Watts just attacking the glass. LeJuan Watts, he tries to slash inside, and he gets the bounce. All night.
41% from 3 for Eastern Washington.
Here he is again with the rock, and lays it in. Washington's hand off to a beat. Slashing, hanging too strong out the window. Price pushing the other way. Calmes baseline take, nice feed to Watts.
How about the space?